Hey everyone, hope you all are well. The first thing I'm doing today, as usual, is priming the eye area, and to do that, I've taken the Wet n Wild Photo Focus eyeshadow primer. I've squeezed some of it onto the back of my hand, dipped my brush into the product, and now I'm sweeping it onto the eye area. And this will just ensure that the shadows that I apply will apply nice and smoothly, and that they'll last all day long as well. I'm busting out the Child palette again today by Colourpop, and I'm going with a totally different look today. I'm beginning with that very light brown in the top right hand corner. I've picked up a little of this on a fluffy blending brush, and now I'm sweeping this into the crease of the eye. Initially I like to use back and forward sweeping motions just to get the colour into the crease, and then once I've got kind of no product left on my brush, I'm using circular motions then to blend that shadow out, and I'm using quite large circular motions to really buff out those edges. I want the shadow to fade out to nothing the closer to the brow bone that it gets. So I'm switching to a smaller bullet shaped brush now, and I'm sweeping some of that same shade all the way down along the lower lash line from outer to inner corner. Next then I'm taking this dark maroon brown shade called Droid of Protocol, and I'm using a smaller fluffy brush to pat this down onto the outer third of the lid, and then I'm using circular motions very gradually, and I'm pulling this up into the crease. So I still haven't picked up any more product on my brush, I'm just working with what I have. So what I've laid down first then, I'm going to diffuse now up into the crease. I'm going to work out on fading out the edge of the shadow at an angle towards the tail of my brow. So I just use little kind of flicking motions, and then I'm working back into the crease again, blending the shadow all of the way across the crease. Now that I've got that placement down, I'm going to then intensify the shadow. So I'm going back in with a second layer, and I'm starting by tapping it down on the outer third of the eye, and then I'm using little circular motions just to sweep the colour across, halfway across the lid. And then I'm using larger circular motions now, and I'm making my way up into the crease with that shadow. So I'm going to go in now with one final layer of the shadow just to bump up the colour intensity even further. Now, 2 layers would have been absolutely fine if I was a little heavier handed with the shadow, but again, I just want to show you that you can start with a small amount and build up. And I think especially if you're a beginner, it's a better way of applying your shadow because you can control the amount that's going on the eye, and then you're less likely to mess up. It's always easier to build up gradually than it is to apply one heavy layer and blend that. So now I'm taking the smaller bullet shaped brush again, and I'm using this to sweep some of the brown eyeshadow down along the lower lash line. And I'm always making sure to connect it up onto the outer corner as well. Then I'm taking this gorgeous golden shade called the Force, and I'm using a flat C-shaped brush to press this onto the inner half of the lid. I decided to apply the first layer of this shadow straight from the pan just to see what the finish is like, and it's nice. You could definitely take a smaller amount than what I have here and sweep it across the entire lid. You can definitely shear it out and make it work for every day, but I wanted to pack more of a punch, so I went and I wet my brush when I was applying it the next couple of times just to really make the shadow sparkle, and that it really does. Next, I'm taking this single shadow from Makeup Geek called Corrupt. It's just a matte black, and I'm using this to add some depth to the eyes. And I always say I feel like a look is never finished without a bit of black, even if it's just a light dusting. So I'm using a smaller C-shaped brush to firstly press this into the lash line on the outer third of the eye, then I'm raising my brush up onto the lid and pulling that black up towards the crease. So just on the outer portion of the eye though. And I like to use the brush that I apply the black with to flick and blend the shadow up into the crease. I do some of the blending with this, and then I go over it with an actual blending brush just to soften those edges. And I do it this way because when I use a little C-shaped brush to pull the black and blend the black up in the crease, it's a small dense brush and I have control over where the black is going. And I just feel if I went in with a fluffy brush, a large fluffy brush first, it would be diffusing the black all over the place. So I just want it on the outer portion of the eye. So with the combination of the two brushes, that's where I can keep it. Next then, I'm using one of my favourite eyeliner pencils. It's from NARS, and it's tiny now at this stage, so I've ordered a new one, but it's a gorgeous deep chocolatey brown, and it stays all day. Now I'm taking an angled brush, and I love this one by Vanity Planet because of the little dip in it. It literally hugs the lash line. It's just brilliant. So I've picked up some more of the black eyeshadow and I'm just pressing this into the lashes, starting with the bottom lashes, just to add definition there. And then I'm also lining along the upper lash line as well, and this will just to help to conceal the band of the lashes that I'm about to apply. It'll add a little bit more depth and it'll thicken up the lashes. Once I've lined all the way across the lash line from outer to inner corner, then I'm taking these false lashes as well from Colourpop, and I've just popped them on. And then to blend my own lashes in with the false ones, I'm taking this Wet n Wild Mega Length Mascara, and I'm firstly coating the bottom lashes and then obviously the top lashes to blend my lashes in with the false ones. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you found it helpful and easy to follow. If you have any suggestions on what you would like to see next, please do let me know. Give me a comment, thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will catch you all in a video really soon.